me, it's the one and all Paul friends, welcoming you to Starfleet Universe On Call. And tonight, well, it's me. I got Barry at least for a little bit. I'm sure we're going to have people joining us in the ever so wonderful chat room for Twitch, because I've not seen anyone over on TalkShoe, which is just fine with me. But in any case, hey Barry, how you doing?
Hey, well, I guess since I'm on TalkShoe, I'm a nobody. You said nobody was on TalkShoe, so
Yeah.
that's okay.
You know what I meant.
Sorry, you send me a slow one.
I know.
I'm going to swing.
Yep. And Dave actually is on there. It's saw me start the recording. He's like, oh, okay, I'm over here. And Andrews, of course, rule. And we'll just see how well they rule after Sunday night's game. Because that was the one thing I promised y'all what I was going to be doing. Just a reminder before I talk about the topic tonight, which is my Sapphire game that I played on Sunday night. We did not complete. We ended at the end of turn 5. But I'm alive.
I assume you're in an Andro?
I'm in an Andro. He's in a King Eagle.
And what is your opponent?
King Eagle.
Oh, that could be interesting.
That's been quite interesting. I can tell you that now, and it's only by the grace of God at the moment that I'm still alive. That's the way I feel about it. We'll get to that part. I don't want to do any spoilers. But before we discuss this, I just want a quick reminder that next week is in the United States. It is Thanksgiving, so that means there'll be no podcast for that week. Anyone's been on this podcast for a number of years know that I never broadcast on Thanksgiving. I might record a short little ditty, short little audio thing for people, just wishing people a happy Thanksgiving. But that's gonna be about it. So, not as much as you think so, Dave.
Yeah.
They're saying, "Oh, I bet that art torpedo stung." Not as hard. It's been an interesting game.
You took an art torp?
Yep, I already took an art torp, and I survived. So, actually, I took a couple art torps, kind of. But we'll get to that.
I assume did you take the pseudo?
Yep, that's how I took a couple torps. But it was interesting. It's definitely a very interesting game. To start off with, okay, let's go through the game real quick. I did actually okay. Let me just do this. Why is that there? Remind me, I gotta do something over there. Oh, crap! I'm sure that got recorded too. Okay, whatever. I was moving a file around. And it's like I don't need that file because the file I got.
Now, can the Andrew substitute as a
no
T-bomb
for PA mine? No, I looked that up. I thought it could, and I announced that last week, but I found out no, that rule is not used, which is I think it's M10. I think that's the correct rule. I'm not quite, but the important thing that it was in the section of the rules that says we're not using these rules. So it's like, and I even double checked. I said, okay, well, maybe, just maybe, there's a special rule for the Andromedan, because it's invariably, if there's special rules in the tournament ship description, it tells you any special things that are allowed for that ship. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, so definitely they're not using that rule. Okay. I would have liked it. I think that would have been quite cool. Of course, I think my stress level would have been much decreased if I would have had a PA mine. But that did not happen. So, getting into the quick, I'm gonna go. I did it again. I'm gonna go through the game. All 5 turns. That probably will take the whole. It should take the whole podcast. Especially if there's some really interesting parts in this game. And I'm sorry for people who watched the game. Even though there were quite a few people, but I'm sorry, we did not actually have a voice channel in Discord. So, and Iggy knows this. He was there. That we went completely old school, which is silent text based. Which
right.
That's why I'm used to doing it. I don't think Jason is set up for Discord. I don't think he has an account. In fact, I'm positive he doesn't have an account, because I would think most people who sign up for Discord for SFU Online to be part of the Discord server, they usually keep their call sign pretty much the same as what they use for SFU Online. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they are. Most of the time they are. And I definitely did not see Hood, which is his call sign. The Hood is the actual call sign. But I did not see that, so he probably doesn't have it even. Yeah, if you want to, Chris, you can use Discord in turn. If you want to talk to your opponent, you can do that. It's completely valid. Obviously, you still have to do everything. Yeah. I would highly recommend, especially for tournament play, that they use all the tools that are available in the client itself to, record things like, your fire and all that kind of thing. Don't just announce it, because then there is no record. There's no way to prove that, right, yes, that you announced this. If there's any questions to the judge, because the judge doesn't have a recording of your Discord channel. And there you can have it, but that makes it even more difficult to judge anything, because Lord knows, can you imagine like a 6-hour audio file that someone has to listen through? Yeah, exactly. So you can do it. It's just that I just recommend you use all the tools when it comes to announcing fire and things like that. And overall, there's the one thing I do not like with Discord. And this is not a Discord, it's audio chat while you're playing. And that is key tapping. Key tapping, in my mind, gives you away. It's kind of that metagaming kind of thing where it tells your opponent that you're doing something. Whether it's to the game or not, most of the time you're focusing on the game. You're not going to be checking your email while you're in the middle of playing a game. At least I hope you're not. That might explain some people how slow some people are, but because it's an online game, you're playing against in theory, yes, you could type randomly, but now you're getting into the whole metagaming aspect, where some people, what they do is they'll bring up the activity and even do a call for fire. We're not. That's one thing I should let people know. We're not doing. Me and Jason, we're not using call for fire. We use pure impulse activity, which is
I prefer what I usually use.
That's what I prefer. Jason wanted it, so okay, we're going. We'll go with that. And some people will do that, they'll call for fire, and then they won't fire. Why? Because they're trying to get their opponent to fire, which I think there might have been at least one instance, or maybe 2 instances, where Jason tried to do that with me, but I went, nope. I stuck to what I was going to do. Whether I was going to fire or not fire. It's like, he's going to fire. Okay, he's going to fire. I'm not firing. And he didn't fire. It's like, okay. And that happened a couple times during the game. I'm not sure
And
if
this is
he
why
did.
I prefer pure impulse activity.
Mhm. We did pure activity, impulse activity. He didn't do a call for fire. He just brought it up, and I'm not sure whether he changed his mind and decided not to have an activity, or he was trying to goad me into doing some activity. I can't say one way or the other. I really can't. So I'm not going to say that he did it specifically to do that. I don't know. I'm not sure one way or the other. And personally, I don't care, because he's not gonna goad me. I'm gonna stick to what I planned on doing. And if he wants to fire whenever he wants to fire, fine. I'm not gonna change things. Okay. Now, to get into the game itself, and that's turn one. Turn one was actually relatively kind of uneventful. Do I have it here? Oh, did I? Oh, let me just check one thing, because I don't see it. Oh, come on. I thought I... Let me just do... I don't see it. Oh, is that it? Nope, that's not it. That's not it either, is it? Nope, that's not it. Huh. I thought I recorded it. I thought I took a screenshot. I don't. Well, whatevs. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Because I thought I took a picture of turn one, impulse 15. Okay. Yeah, Chris. If people want to call for fire, you need to use call for fire for tournaments. That is the rule. So, just let people know who don't play tournaments that often. That is the ruling from Steve Cole himself. So it is the rule. Yeah. I read on. No, Iggy, you don't remember? Okay, whatever. Let's go through it, Iggy, and we'll go through it. Okay, turn one. Turn one is actually relatively uneventful. I start off with speed 24. He starts off speed 30. He runs for the center board. I actually go for the center board too. The reason being is that I figured that was probably the best way to get some range. Because I did not want him. Yeah. I did not want to do a corner dodge and have him basically pin me to the wall. That's what I did not want to happen. There's other.
Well, yeah. If you're playing a plasma chucker, it's almost always you're going for the center. He controls the center. Yeah.
Oh, agreed.
Because if you don't control the center, then against the plasma chucker, he now has got only half the distance to cover, and his plasma's got much stronger because they're not going to have to travel as far before you run into the wall.
Yep. And so we're both heading towards the center. He started turn speed 30. I started speed 24 because I figured I don't need to be zooming towards the center. I just need to be fast enough. So we go towards the center of the board. At range, actually, to me, the weird part about the way the game started is, I forget if it was the first or second move that he made. He turned into me, basically turned left, right towards me. It's like, huh? So he turned directly. It was like he was trying his best to get as quickly as possible across my bow on my ship. So he goes, turns and goes directly, beeline. So he's not even sidestep. He's just going straight. So he's trying to get across there as soon as possible. which is for good reason because later on he actually slows down to a speed 15. But before I forget, I'm pretty sure it's before he gets to speed 15, what he does is we get to range 13, and then he does something unusual, which I don't overall don't see that often. He launches Plasma R at range 13, which, of course, this is a Plasma R. Range 13 can still, which actually in a way it makes sense to a certain degree because of if you want to keep people out of overloaded range. Now, if you actually look at the Andromedan, you're not really that concerned about overloaded range. You're more concerned about range 5 or closer, because tier H's you can't get the max damage, which is 20 points, unless you're at least range 5. So
right.
Yeah, so he does that. Okay, fine. So what I do is when he does that, I turn. I turn immediately because like okay, I'm not gonna rush in.
Run it out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rush into this thing because if it's real, then he's just gonna clobber me. So I turn.
Yeah.
And so I end up just turning and then side slipping, along the edge. Yeah. Close to not edge, but I turn and just kind of go straight to the right. And he, of course, after this, he had just turned in direction D, and then he launched the Plasma R, and then I start side slipping across. He turns into me, so he's heading direction B at this point, and he's following me. We end up with at the very end of the turn. His let me bring that up for folks, which is. Hopefully people can see this. Okay, so let's go there, and that should do it. Okay, so for those of you on the video, you can see where I am. We got directly off shield number 2. I mean directly off, as in 2 hexes away. I'm directing C. It's directly 2 hexes down towards in direction D. So it's the plasma's 2 hexes right off me, and the King Eagle is 13 hexes behind me off shield number 3. It's not directly, not right out shield number 3. It's a little behind shield number 3, towards shield number 4 a little bit, but still range 13. So that's where we ended the turn.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this and I'm going, that's not good. So we start the next turn, and I figure, okay, I think about this for a while, and I think about, okay, let's see what this is, because it's drawn out to around 25. I think I calculated out. I think it was like 25 points of damage. So I let it run out enough, and just so that it doesn't hit me in the rear panels. What do I do? The first impulse possible. What I do is I actually turn in towards it, so that first impulse 2, first impulse for me, second impulse, I hit him right on, bam. It's a fake. So okay, now I'm terrified, because what I'm terrified is that he's got an enveloper all set to go. Because running that one out is going to take a lot of time. And it's one of those ones you do not want to hit. 25 and 25, not good. So
enveloper is scary for an andro.
Yep. Oh, very, very, very scary. Especially if unless you draw it out enough. So I continue to head down direction D, and I'm side slipping away from the King Eagle. The King Eagle, he actually turns from direction B. I was direction D. I'm side slipping out towards the wall, because at that point I'm like 5 hexes away from the wall. So I'm trying to keep as much distance as possible from the King Eagle, and the King Eagle, he turns from direction B to direction C, so he's going to follow me in. Mm-hmm. So okay, fine, he's following me. Well, obviously I can't have him do that the whole time, so I finally end up turning to direction E. So I turn in so that I can come and hit his front shield. So
yeah,
and let me bring it up. On impulse 14, we have a little excitement, which is he has got me center lined off of shield number 1. Shield number 1, range 5. At that point, I fire my two TRHs
Heavy.
and my and 4. I think it's 4 phaser 2s.
4 P2s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I do 34 points of damage. Cool. So I'll and what does he do? He doesn't use any reinforcement whatsoever. So I go ping ping ping, shield gone. And then
little armor gone.
All 4 armor is gone. Poof. So I was like, okay, cool. Shield number 1 down. Awesome. That's exactly what I want. Yes, I took down the shield. No, I did not fire in turn number 1. We fired in mid turn 2. So I do that. I got 34 points of damage, and of course, before I fire my TRHs, also I activate my displacement device. I roll, boom, successful, yay! I run away. I went 6 hexes directly, direction D, so straight down. So I was able to open up the range from 5 to 11. So, yes, I'm good. So, I keep running away at that point. At the end of the turn, of course, he turns in. He turns around and follows me. So what happens is at the end of turn 2, I'm basically right at the bottom of the board. Oh, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. At this moment in time, Impulse 32. He's what's the range? I think it's range 13. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Sorry, range 11. He's 11 hexes behind me. I'm right against the board. I can still go straight.
Your displacement device has not cycled yet.
Nope, because I just used it this on turn 2.
That's what I meant. Yeah, yep. I know.
And what does he do? Impulse 32 of turn 2, he launches a plasma R. Okay.
Standard or enveloper?
Standard. Which is why I looked at it and go, what? He did what?
He didn't have the power to envelop it. It takes a lot of power to envelop.
Oh, I know. And I think that's probably why he didn't use an enveloper, because and that's one of those things that if you load it as a standard, you can't later on envelop it. You're stuck.
you can't hold a standard with an R either.
Right. Oh, agreed. So my guess at this moment in time is he probably loaded it as a plasma R, as a standard plasma R in energy allocation instead of using reserve power to boost it up. To either
you can't use reserve power for an enveloper.
I know. That's what I said. But But the only reason I can imagine him actually launching his plasma R, Impulse 32 of turn 2, is that he had already completely finished arming it at the energy allocation. Because there's other ways of doing it. You can do a rolling delay and then use reserve power to make it an R. Or load it as an S, hold that, and then upgrade it right before you launch it.
But if you upgrade it before you launch it, you can't change it to an enveloper.
Right. That's the only gotcha, which is versus the rolling delay. But my guess is he completely charged it, in EA, and that's why he launched it. So it's like, okay, well, obviously I know what I'm going to be doing on turn 3. I'm going to be running for the corner. Because I don't know how often Jason plays Romulan. That's the God honest truth. I don't know what he normally plays. He was away from SFB for a long time. Because last time I saw him, he actually flew from Australia to Columbus, Ohio, and played in the Origins, the Gold Hat tournament, which was interesting. It was like, I got to meet the guy, found out that he made his, I'm not sure if he still does this, but he was making his living playing poker. So,
right.
If you can do it, go for it, man. So I figure I'm going to be running for the corner, and I'm going to try to run it out as far as possible, get it down to a decent, warhead strength where I can deal with it. So that's exactly what I do. And by that's weird. Hold on. Ah, there it is. Sorry. I forgot to tell. There's what I meant to show first, which was Impulse 16. The Impulse 16, what I do is I turn directly into the plasma's coming so that the plasma does not hit me in the rear panels. That's when I turn to direction A. And so I can take the plasma directly on the front panels.
The front. Yeah.
Yeah. So at that moment in time, I take the 25. It's like, okay, fine, awesome, great. I didn't even fire at it because I was saving my energy.
Right.
And okay, he hits me. This is where things get interesting for the turn. So I turn in here, and the King Eagle is still coming at me. He's at that moment in time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's still 11 hexes away from me, but at the moment he's off my shield number 2 mostly towards the shield number 1. So it's almost right at the shield split between shield number 1 and shield number 2.
Yeah.
So it hits me, and I start going up, and of course when I'm going up, I'm side slipping out towards the wall because I want to keep my range open as much as possible.
Oh yeah.
By Impulse 20, actually no, I was side slipping. Oh, I know why. I was actually side slipping towards him because of I wanted to get on his number 1 shield. It's like, come closer.
And hit it again.
Yeah, and I'll fire just my phasers at you.
At this point now, the shield you had taken down is his number 1, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have my TRs, but I still have phasers. So
Sure.
I continue to close. Let me just do one quick check here for people. Let's make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, I did not end up firing, but he ended up a little bit later on the same turn. You know, we're closing. We're range 5. Actually, I've got it. Looks like I missed the opportunity to fire at his down shield, and beat up on his armor. Actually, I think the reason why I didn't fire was because I was concerned about his plasma Fs. And if I recall correctly, actually, this impulse 20, is when he launched his plasma F. I'll double check because yeah, I have to check. Yeah, and that was right. Yeah, exactly. Now what gets interesting is just in a bit. That's an impulse 27. He basically had turned away from me. I'd have to double check the actual logs to know exactly when, but he turned away from me because he didn't want his down shield give me a really good shot at his down shield. You know, I was holding my phaser because of all the plasma F, and I wanted to make sure that he didn't get too much damage on my front panels because he's still got 2 plasma Fs. After 25 points of damage, another 40 points of damage, and then his phasers, I could be in big trouble. So I decided, fine.
You would.
I'm going to just hold my phasers because I want to be able to phaser him down. So what happens? He launches he launches the plasma, right? I'm trying to remember the sequence, and then he turns away. And so he's going direction C. So I go, okay, great. He's going direction C. I'm going to go turn in direction B. So I'm going to end up behind him. So he'll go flying away, and I'll go flying behind him, and that'll give me plenty of runaway. I can run away from him at that point.
Yeah.
With very little issue, right. And I can basically, I was thinking about getting behind him and then going up the board, and so that I can cut him off, basically, up ahead. So no, what happens? He turns away, and then impulse 27. As soon as I turn behind him, because I'm still going slow, I'm going speed 21 at this point. I'm going slow because there's no reason to rush for the corner. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what does he do? He goes. Boop. He hits. So now he's at range 2. I'm expecting him to just blast me with all his phaser 3s and his phaser 1s. Does he do that? No.
Mm-hmm.
He fires 2 phaser 1s. Still hurts. Okay, fine. And let me see. Is it here or okay? That's a little farther. Okay. He continues going straight, and I continue going behind him. Actually, I'm side-slipping behind him. I'm going direction A, and I end up. He basically gets me center line, range 2. At range 2, he unloads all 6 phaser 3s at range 2. So he does a nice bit of damage, and actually, it gets 19 points of damage. And because it was 19 and I had to have reinforced levels on my front panels, he got a leak point. Which actually I had to explain to him because previously when he hit me with the plasma, he was expecting a leak. Well, you don't get a leak. The reason why you don't get a leak at 25 is because I didn't have to go to reinforced levels.
Right.
It's only if I have to be at reinforced level, and you have to do at least three times the number of panels in that bank. So you had to do at least 18 points of damage. He did 19. And I had to have over the reinforced levels to hold it. So so there was one leak, and he got one whole box. So go bing. So I've got one internal at that point.
Yeah.
And then later, and after we cross, I keep going. He launches a plasma F, and that one. Actually, I don't have the pictures here, and I apologize. Which was I was still going. I was actually side slipping up direction A as much as possible. I'm going to die. I need to knock this thing down. So I knock it down. And let me just double check this because I'm pretty sure I wrote this up. Because I was trying to write it all, but it was taking way too long. And what ended up, I fired my 4 phaser 2s at it, and what happens? It's a fake. So my guess is that he did not want to be completely without any plasmas. So, okay, fine. So at that point, I was able to get the direction D at the end of the turn because what I want to do is I want to just run away and get some of this power out of my panels because I've got quite a bit of power by this point, to the point where I think I have 8 boxes left before I actually start getting internals.
Time to start dissipating stuff.
What's that?
Time to start dissipating power.
Yep. I have to start dissipating it and get rid of all that power. So I start running up, and then I actually we're coming around. This is also turn 4. Remember one thing that happens with turn 4. Turn 4, I've got my TRs back.
On your displacement device.
So I run up. I don't completely run away because I can. He doesn't have his plasma R available. Yeah, leak points can be diced for after you get through the hull. PA panels are complicated. They take a lot of work. I agree 100% there. They do take quite a bit of work. But I was, so I come up, I turn around, I'm trying to get ahead of him, and I went, I'm not going to get ahead of him this turn. There's no way. There's no way I'm going to be able to get to that shield number 1, because he's definitely doing his best not to have the shield number 1 facing me. So I go, fine. So at that point, I'm turning in towards him. He's got the plasma. Okay, let me just make sure. Do I have it here? No, I don't have it here.
And I'm going to call it a night because I'm exhausted.
Okay. Well, Barry, you have a good night.
You too.
Okay.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too. You have a happy Thanksgiving. Okay. Here it is. Impulse 13. He launches that last plasma. which I know, of course, at this moment of time. Yeah. Well, I call it the cockroach because that's what it's a derogatory term for the crate. Because the Andromeda is always scurrying around. So they always call it the cockroach, so I always call my ship the cockroach. Because he's always scurrying away. But April 13, he launches his Plasma F. I know it's a real plasma. So right now that means he's down to one fake plasma. So okay, I come in, I go, okay, I need to knock down some of this. So I knock. Yes, it really is Kirk. And ask him about his son at some point. Because he actually named him after, of course, James Tiberius. Yep. I don't think his name is James Tiberius, but I think his middle name is Tiberius. I have to double check. It's been a while though. But so in Impulse 13 he launches his F. I'm coming in. I go, okay, I'm gonna need to knock this thing down. So I knock it down some with the phasers. It's real. He hits me for I think it's like 15 points of damage because I knock it down some. So we get some more energy into these wonderful panels of mine. And at that point, what I'm doing is he's going this way. And obviously, you can see him side slip. He's side slipping away from me. So I'm side slipping towards him. So I'm going down direction D. The whole idea being is to get to this position. What that position is for those on just the audio podcast is I'm at range 4. I got his shield number 4 facing me. It's right along the shield split line, which to me is perfect. So I fire 4 phaser 2s at that point. 2 phaser 2s and 2 TR beams. With that, I get 41 points of damage, which is gorgeous for me because now he's got 2 shields down. Shield number 1, shield number 4. Got a nice little hole there, which is great, fine, wonderful, dandy for me. I love it. And so after I do that, I knock out some phaser 3s. Obviously, actually, the funny part about this is I hit a scanner. And later on, let you know, I hit another scanner. So he's got 2 scanners knocked out. Actually, I have to look at his ship, to be honest, to see, okay, does he have to now modify his range? Because his scanners, I think his scanner is like a rating of 2 or something like that. I've got to check. I really got to check. I'm not going to say one way or the other. Oh, it has 3 zeros. Okay, so it's still 0. Okay, thank you, Eggy. Including the. Okay, you looked. Okay, thank you, Eggy. Okay, that's good. That I originally had not thought about it until I started thinking about the number of scanner hits that he's taken, and I went, I wonder. So anyway, get the 41, got some hull, got a scanner, got some phasers. So at the moment, so he's got. I got some more internals. I actually went through his armor and started doing actual internals. Haven't hit any torps yet. Sad face. But I'm getting into them now. At the end of the turn, big surprise. I end up I turn down and I'm coming around. I'm going back. I ended up being where I started. around the beginning of turn 3. is where I'm almost where I am. I'm like 4 hexes away from, actually 5 hexes away from the bottom edge of the board. Again, well, in this case, I'm almost at the bottom edge of the board. I'm a little farther away than, but you know, the whole idea is I'm back where I started. And he's turning around. Big surprise. He's turning around because you know, his plasma R. Oh, turn 5. Kind of quickly. Yeah, I think it. I forget. I'm pretty sure he at that point. You know. Okay, so in the turn here. On turn 5. Now I'm running away. I'll no. I will be going through this whole game all over again with full video later on after the game is all done. So yes, we're getting the game Sunday at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Again, we already got that all set up. Okay, now I'm running around the bottom of the board. I get to the range 16. That's when I change from like standard levels down, reinforced down to standard. Actually, no, I did that early in turn. Okay, I did that on turn 3. This is where I did the toggle. But at the end of Impulse 5, I had dropped my front panels. So my front panels are completely down. But given that this is this turn 5, I already did a reinforced the standard level on, I think, turn 4. So that this was wiped out. All that stuff went into the batteries. And so at the beginning of this turn, I got the range 16, and then I drop my front panels. Anything that was in my front panels goes into the rear panels, and anything that can't fit in the rear panels goes into the lovely little batteries here. So I was able to get that energy into the batteries. So at this moment in time, the front panels are clear. Not a single bit of energy is in the panels. Lots in the batteries, not much in the panels. The idea being at that point, if the enemy fires at range 16, I can, and there's going to be no internals at all, because I can go from standard to reinforced. Boop. Yes, it cost me 3 points of power, but at that moment in time, I won't get any internals. So I'm good as gold. So this is where things get exciting. This is Impulse 5, Impulse 24, turn 5. I went around, down the bottom of the board. He started coming in towards the corner. I turn up. He's still coming in. At this moment in time, he decides to do something which terrified me. Completely and utterly. I'm nerves. That's all I have. I'm freaking nerves. He is at range 10. He's got a Plasma R, which he's bolting, which can be 25 points of damage on my rear panels. That would, let me think, 4 and 4, 16. That probably would give me some internals. This is why I'm just terrified at that moment in time. So he goes, gamble time, roll R bolt, drum roll, and he rolls a 5. And he says miss, and I go yes with exclamation points, because I've got all this tension in my. It's like I just released like yes, he missed. So, and he gives a sad face, which I understand. It's like, yeah. Here's the thing. Here is the thing. I totally expected him at this moment in time to go, I concede, because he's been outplayed basically the whole game, and I expected him to concede. He didn't. Okay. I was going to ask him if he conceded, but I went, no, I'm not going to. If he wants to concede, he concede. I'm not going to force his hand. So he continues to go down here, but what happens is I do this, which is he does that. He fires his only plasma R. So now he's without his plasma R. I'm not sure if he has a plasma F at the moment, or at that moment. But anyway, I turn in towards him, and what happens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Range 6. I fire 4 phaser 2s, and I go right down his rear down shield. I get nice 5 internals, get a left warp, a center hole, 2 phaser 3s, and a scanner. So I'm not doing too poorly. Now, it would have been really nice if one of these would have been a torp hit, but I'm not complaining. Yeah, that would have been so lovely. Now, so we end the game, turn and pause the game in this situation, which is last impulse to turn. He turns from direction D, and where his rear shields are facing me, to direction E. So that is it. Now, here's the thing. I went straight. So if I keep going straight and he keeps going towards the corner, that rear shield, I don't think it's going to be shown to me overall. Because if he keeps going, he can get it so that he turns in and keeps it away. But I've got him in the corner. I have my displacement device available to me. So there is the possibility here. There is that possibility. And it depends upon what his speed is. Yeah, my TRs are available. It's going to be turn 6. My TRs are going to be available. My whatchamacallit's going to be available. My displacement device is going to be available. So there is the possibility of doing something. There's multiple things. At the moment, basically, I've got him cornered. He can't escape this corner. The question is, what is he going to do? There's multiple things he can do. He can do anything from keeping up a nice relatively high speed, or actually, I wouldn't think high speed. I think maybe a lower speed, so that he can basically turn the shield number 4 before I can get around. In which case, I'm in trouble. I can't fight that. It can be that. It could be, he could go. I'm expecting him to basically go slow and then possibly go fast and run around here while I'm coming around this direction. So we're the whole circle of death kind of thing. Now the question at that point is, I've gone 2, he's gone 1. What will we both do? I want to get around to his rear shield as quickly as possible, and he doesn't want me to, so he's going to try to avoid it. So there's he's probably going, as I said, he's probably going to go start slow and keep doing the circle and go slow enough so he can get that shield number 4 away from me before I can get around to hit his shield number 4, and I have to wait and see what I can possibly do. You know, what it might end up being is going to be one of these really weird situations where he turns, and I might have to just try to get him like on the shield split, because that's the one of those benefits of the TRHs. The TRHs are front half. That means on that, if you know, front half. So if he is on that shield break, the shield split line, if I get him there, I can fire at him. And it's possible I can actually hit a shield number 4 doing that. Will I be able to get there? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So, my friends, I will end it here. I will actually right now, save me on this additional podcast. I will wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your family instead of listening to my butt in the middle of the night. Spend the time with your family. Enjoy the football games and lots of turkey. Get that tryptophan going real high. And with that, I am Paul Franz, and I bid you a good night.